Morning, sir. Company AL present or accounted for.
Take your post. Forward! Rest!
Let us pray. Oh God, just thank you for this day we get to come together and honor our brother. Praise you for the example of courage and strength Charlie gave to us all. Pray that you would bring comfort to his family and strength to his teammates as we continue to fight. In your holy name I pray. Amen.
Company, attack! Company first sergeant. Read the final roll call.
Staff Sergeant Cartwright, MSOT 3, Alpha Company, 1st Marine Special Operations Battalion, killed in action 7 November 2009 while conducting counterinsurgency operations in the Farah Province, Afghanistan. Captain Detrinas.
Here, First Sergeant.
Gunnery Sergeant Croninger.
Here, First Sergeant.
Staff Sergeant Music.
Here, First Sergeant.
Staff Sergeant Jacobs.
Here, First Sergeant.
Staff Sergeant Cartwright. Staff Sergeant Charles Cartwright. Staff Sergeant Charles Isaac Cartwright.
Forward! Rest! First of all, I'd like to thank everybody for coming out today. Especially like to thank our A&A brothers who fought alongside us in the village of Masao a few short days ago. A lot could be said about Staff Sergeant Charlie Cartwright. For those of you that don't know him, I'll talk very briefly about what kind of Marine and what kind of man he was. He grew up in Westminster, Maryland. He joined the Marine Corps in 2001. He went to boot camp in Parris Island, South Carolina. Upon completion of boot camp, he reported to the School of Infantry at Camp Geiger, North Carolina, where he graduated as the honor man at the School of Infantry. He was later assigned to 1st Battalion, 5th Marines at Camp Pendleton, California, where he was assigned to an infantry company, Charlie Company. He deployed to Iraq in support of Operation Iraqi Freedom. He conducted operations in El Dania. When he came back, he decided he wanted to take up a bigger challenge. He wanted to become a scout sniper. He was later assigned to the sniper platoon, Stay 1-5, where he deployed as an assistant team leader, this time going back to Al Anbar for his second tour in Iraq. When Charlie completed his mission in Iraq, he came back. This time he was now a team leader in the sniper platoon. One more time he went back to Iraq, this time Ramadi, where he distinguished himself in combat, earning the Navy Commendation Medal with Combat V for Valor. When Charlie came back, he decided he wanted to take up an even bigger challenge. So he decided to become a member of 1st Force Reconnaissance Company. 1st Force Reconnaissance Company was later redesignated 1st Marine Special Operations Battalion, and Charlie deployed with the very first Marine Special Operations Company Alpha in 2007. He again distinguished himself in combat, returned from that tour of duty, attended multiple schools, and then kissed to deploy in 2009. Along the way, Charlie got married to Marissa. They've been married only a short time. He was married last December. Losing Charlie is tough because of the kind of caliber of the man that he was. He was a guy who never stood for the status quo. He always wanted to challenge himself and think of the next challenge. And the men that are standing before you know this. They know that Charlie Cartwright is the kind of guy who would take on anyone, anytime, anywhere. And he would never settle for setting the bar low. He wanted the bar high. I think some of the proudest moments of Charlie's military career were when he became a sniper, when he became a recon Marine, and when he deployed in combat with his brothers that are out here today. Everybody that was out in Masao that day saw Charlie in action and saw what he did under fire, protecting the flank of his fellow Marines, laying down a high volume of suppressive fire in support of them. Charlie had another side I'd like to share with you. He had a compassionate side. A few weeks ago, Captain Detrinas came up to me and said, "Cartwright's got a puppy." And I said, "What are you talking about?" And he said, "Well, he's got this little dog that he found on the fob, and he wants to keep it." And I said, "Well, okay, let's take a look at it. You know, what kind of condition is it in? It wasn't doing well." But Charlie, being the compassionate guy that he was, attempted to nurse it back to health. And that speaks volumes about what kind of guy Charlie was, because he shared that same kind of compassion with all of you. He was deeply caring. He knew that there was no greater thing you could do in this world than to lay down your life for a friend. And that's what Charlie did. In closing, I'd like to say Charlie wanted us to drive on with this mission. He knew how important it was, and we'll do just that. He had one additional request, which was when we get back to Camp Pendleton, he wanted his body to be cremated. He wanted us to take the ashes, go up to Bridgeport, California. There's a peak up there called Mean Peak. It's a very high peak in the Sierra Nevadas. He wanted us to climb that peak and put his ashes all over the Sierra Nevadas. So when we get back, we're going to do one more hike, one more climb with Charlie, because that's what he wanted. Captain Detrinas.
Just want to leave you guys with a couple things that I'll remember about Charlie. Like the CO said, his passion, energy, and sense of humor made him the center of gravity of this team. That guy loved life, and everybody knew it. Every idea he had was the best idea you've ever heard in your life. He fucking believed it. He would sell that thing. Man, it was great. His dedication to anything that guy did was unparalleled. The energy he put into training the NA or to being a teammate, I mean, if we could only do that with ourselves and dedicate ourselves to each other the way he did to any mission he did, we'd be an unbelievable force. And finally, his warrior spirit. Everybody who's ever worked with him knows it. He went out the way he would want to go out, dominating the high ground with empty magazines, taking it to the enemy. So those are the few things I'll remember about Charlie Cartwright, and I'll take with me always. Well,
from the minute I met Charlie, I knew it was going to be a lasting relationship. He pissed me off more than anybody in the world, and he could do it in about 2 seconds. But in the third second, I would love the fuck out of him, because I just love that guy. I go in my office, and I open my locker door, and a fucking computer falls out of it. Charlie. I'm trying to sleep. He's got his weird music playing next door. Charlie. Slams the door, loud flip-flops in the hallway. Charlie. Always gnawing at me. But I loved it, and I'm gonna miss it. Charlie saved my life 3 times that day. It says in the book of John, love knows no other than this, that a man would lay down his life for his brothers. Charlie had his eyes through his sights, engaging the enemy who's shooting RPGs at us. Probably had his eyes on that sniper when it took him. But I know if Charlie was standing in front of me right now, he'd be like, "Stop fucking crying, Ruddy. You guys need to be tough now. Keep the fight on. Be there for Marissa, be there for his dad, be there for your brothers to your right and your left." And I know that's what Chuck would say. And he would also love that I just said, I want to dovetail on that caveat. That's all.
Company, attack! Present! Huh! Honor the dead! Dismiss!